Praggnanandhaa was in the news a lot a few days ago when he beat Magnus Carlsen and he played amazingly well at the Champions Chess Tour. He also gave his exams and everything related to it. But then he traveled to Norway and played at the Norway Chess Open, where Vishy Anand was playing in the kind of the masters section. Praggnanandhaa played in the open and he won that tournament with 7.5 out of 9. These are the standings of the tournament. Praggnanandhaa finishing with 7.5. You had Marcel Efromsky, Jung Min Seo, and Mukhuddin Madaminov as second, third, fourth. And it was quite an interesting event. We also had Indian Pranit Vupalla who finished sixth there. This is Praggnanandha's performance. He gained 6 ELO points with 3 draws and 6 wins, and his rating is now up to 2648. So we asked Pragg as to how did it feel to win the tournament. Why did he decide to play this tournament when he had nearly 80 to 100 points gap between the second seed? And lastly, which was his favorite game from the tournament? So let the boy speak and you can hear him about what his thoughts were.
It feels good to win a tournament, open tournament, and though I was the first seed, it was not easy at all, and there were some difficult games, and I was just happy to win at the end. So when I entered the Norway Chess Open, like when I first saw the list, there was some strong players' name, and I thought the tournament is quite strong, and okay, in the end, I think couple of players decided to withdraw. So, but overall, I think the tournament is anyway very strong. Even though I think I had like 80 points difference in rating uh, between me and the second seed, I think the players are. I mean, there were some young players also who were quite underrated, and it was a tough event. My favorite game was against Viktor Mikhalevski. There were other good games as well, but I think this game I felt I really played well from start to finish. I didn't really make any mistakes, and I was very happy with this game. I had prepared uh, till Queen E2. I knew, and I knew that Queen C8 is not good because of some Queen B5 somewhere. So I just had this information, but then I think during the game I was analyzing and found out that Queen B5 is indeed strong here, and yeah, that would be my favorite game.
So that was Pragg talking about his tournament, and he mentioned his game against Viktor Mikhalevski as his favorite from the event. So let's have a look at this game and try to see how it was special. Okay, there we go. Praggnanandhaa has the white pieces. Viktor Mikhalevski is black, and Viktor is a strong GM. He was also the trainer of Arjun Erigaisi for quite some time and also an opening expert. So Pragg opened the game with 1 e4. e5 was played by Victor, knight to f3, knight c6, and we had the Italian on the board. Bishop c5, d3, knight to f6, c3, castles and castles. So this is a very well-known position, and now Victor plays the most direct line in the position with d5. You can also play with d6. It's also a possibility, but d5 is just very direct. Takes, and now Pragg attacks the pawn in the center with rook e1. Black goes bishop g4. And now comes a very interesting move, a4. And this has been played by Firuza 3 times. And I think it's him who has kind of introduced this at a top level. Because earlier, guys, the games used to go with h3, bishop h5, knight bd2, knight b6, and bishop b3. So you would reach the same position like in the game, but without the moves a4 and a5. So in the game, when Pragg went a4, he wants to expand, right, with b4 and so on. So his opponent played the move a5. And now Pragg did the same thing, knight bd2, knight b6, bishop b3, takes knight e5. Uh, you can't take the queen here, because if you play bishop d1 after knight d3, you are hitting the bishop as well as this guy. And let's say after bishop takes b3, there is knight c5 hitting the bishop and the pawn. Uh, so queen f5 is the correct move. Then you bring your knight back, rook a d8, queen e2, kind of stopping rook e8 because I'll just take it. And here the one game that has reached this position is Firouzja versus Levon Aronian from World Blitz last round 2021. That video is on ChessBase India. Queen c8 was played there, and is usually played because you want to prepare rook e8 in the position. Now, this is a very logical way to play, and actually, Vishy Anand and Rajabov have played this way, like in the line without a4 and a5. So, if we look at this same position, right here, without the inclusion of a4, a5, this is nothing but Anand versus Rajabov. It continued with queen b5, knight d7, I think bishop d1, rook f e8, and the game ended in a draw very, very quickly. This was played in the online Olympiad, and Vishy got absolutely nothing here. There's also this game Carlsen versus Wesley So, which also continued after queen c8, queen b5, knight d7, knight h4, a6, queen f1, bishop e7, knight f5. Maybe Carlsen had a small edge, but Wesley managed to hold it. This was played in 2021. So Mikhalevski also felt like, it must be okay to go queen c8 here. And because what does the inclusion of a4, a5 stop? Like, there's nothing bad that can happen. But actually, it changes the position drastically. Here, the best move would have been knight to d5. And this has not been played before. And I believe that after this, white still has chances to fight for an edge with knight e4, not worrying about spoiling his structure here. But in the game, queen c8, and now Pragg played the move queen b5. Excellent move was played by him. He speaks about this in his interview as well. And now all of a sudden you can't move your bishop here, because then your bishop is hanging. So knight d7 as is normal. And now Praggnanandhaa plays knight to e4. And notice, guys, if this same thing happened in the games where we were looking at without the inclusion of a4, a5, like here, and if white played knight e4, what would black do? What is the very powerful move he has? Absolutely, a6. He has a6 in his hand. And in the game, this is exactly what Mikhalevski did not have, the move a6. And that's the reason why knight e4 is such a powerful move. Now you are hitting this bishop. Your bishop cannot move because the h5 bishop would hang. And if you take here, then after knight c5, white is totally winning here. Because let's assume you take, I take here. And where does this bishop go? Bishop e4, I can take it. Bishop d5, I can take it. Bishop g4 trapped. Bishop f h5 gone. So, okay, you can play b6, but I still have queen b5. Knight a7, queen g5. The bishop can somehow wriggle out of this mess, like let's say bishop a8. But this is just a completely winning position. My next threat is bishop e5. And look at these pieces on a7 and a8. They are just horribly placed. So knight a7 was played. In the game, that was the only defense that black had. And now Pragg simply dropped the queen back to c4. Bishop b6 was played. And now your move here, what would you play as white? Okay, one way to continue is knight eg5. Excellent move. Can be a very strong idea as well. Just looking at f7, h7 and all those squares. But Pragg, I really like his next move. It's so, it has no real um, inhibitions and any fixed thoughts. Bishop f4, and he's telling his opponent, if you want to take it. My king is not going to be exposed, for the simple reason that your knight does not have any square to go to. Knight c5 is covered, knight f6 is covered. In fact, my king can move to h2 and I can launch an attack down the g5. So that's how dangerous this is. So Mikhalevski didn't take on f3, he went knight c6. But now came another powerful move. Try to think, white to play, what would you do? Knight h4 was played in the position because now you want to go to f5. King h8, queen to b5, attacking the bishop on h5. How to save the bishop? It's very difficult. In fact, instead of king h8, maybe a better move would have been rook d e8. The only difference in this position is the white pieces are just so active, and now maybe Pragg could go queen d5, hitting the bishop once again. But king h8, queen b5, bishop g6, and now knight to g5, threatening knight takes g6 and knight f7. So knight c5 was played, knight takes g6, f takes g6, and in comes a very powerful move once again. White to play, what do you do? Most natural move here is knight f7. It is also good, but not the best. Here white is better and has a good advantage. But what Pragg did was even stronger. He played the move bishop e6. What a powerful move. You attack the queen. You can't take this because after knight e6, there is a fork here. And so queen a8 was played. Bishop takes c7 next. There were many ways to continue. One more was just dropping the bishop back, but he took knight e6. If you take on c7, I'm going to take on c5. So he took on e6, bishop takes b6, knight g5, and queen g5. And here Pragg is not only a pawn up, but look at the black queen. It's completely out of the game. And also he converts this very nicely. Rook a d1, rook f5, queen h4, rook doubles, rook comes on the 7th rank, queen g4, queen d1, rook e6, he takes, bishop d4, knight takes, now threatening rook d8. You can't move the rook because it's a mate on g7. So queen a6, queen d5, check, sorry, no check, just take here. And now Pragg is 2 pawns up, and in this rook endgame, it's very easy for him to convert. So went here, c5, c6, rook takes a5, and he resigned. His opponent resigned because if you take here, then rook c5 is just curtains. So in this position, Mikhalevski resigned and Praggnanandhaa won. A very nice game. It also shows how knowing your openings and these little subtleties are so important. A4 is something that after the addition of a5 is different from just without a4, a5 in this position. I hope you like this game and I hope you like this video. This is Sagar Shah signing off. A big congrats to Pragg once again for a big victory.